gawisay agaw kung datako am in kan kanaoy. Maptang di ako san si kayon amin in Ibaloy.
Naimbag na aldaw in Ilocano, magandang araw in Tagalog.
And good morning in DOST-CAR. Welcome to the second episode of the DOST-D DOST Scholar, a DOST Scholar's story. Ako po si Mike.
Yes, welcome po sa lahat ng ating viewers for today. The DOST-CAR ongoing scholars, scholar graduates, prospective scholars, staff of DOST, university coordinators. Ako po si Novi.
At ako naman po si Gran. Bago po natin umpisahan ang ating programa, atin po munang tawagin ang presensya ng may kapal sa pamamagitan ng isang dadat.
Dosayan, dosayan.
Dosayan, dosayan.
Dosayan, dosayan.
Dosayan.
Tulungam sa kami kabunyan. Tulungam sa kami
kabunyan.
Dosayan,
Dosayan,
dosayan.
dosayan.
Tulungam sa kami kabunyan. Tulungam sa kami kabunyan. Ay, abamin na ilang ito. Kabunyan ay makwane. Now, the programan de DOST-SEI, Department of Science and Technology. Nay, libre iskila, wadaot ng itinday, pagsayatan. Nagtamdaidas ng pangpanguyam, amaya, papangat ya. Sinan ano, siya laing niya. Siya daidan mangiyayag. Siya idanan mangiyatan, sinan kasayatan di umili ay naay. Na bandisyon na mabos ng panpanunot na tunay, Iskolar. Sila na nanayay, DOST ta, malawlawagan na ta, iyayag na sinanib adaw. Iyayag na mos sinang kakabsat niya kakatwa na ta, umali at umaduda tay. Siya na programa na gobyerno na kanantay makwan na DOST at wada na pagsayatan ta, aduday lumaeng. Ibagam ama basta, ayagam da ida, ibagbagam basta na amaya ina data, tumulong da abos sinananak data, ipalpas ng iskila daw, saot na na'y programa ay naay, ayay!
Ayay!
Iyaman!
Iyaman!
Iyaman kansik ay kabunyan. Bendisyon mo'y maipatinggan. Banbantay am yakan iwanwan. Nandin kami pa'y masakbayan. Nandin kami pa'y masakbayan. Ayay! Ayay!
To formally open our program, may we have a recorded message from our DOST-CAR Regional Director, Dr. Nancy A. Bantog.
Naimbag nga agsapa tayo amin. The DOST-CAR family and I greet all the participants and viewers who are with us virtually. Good morning. I would also like to recognize the virtual presence of our guest and partner, Attorney Modesto BAHUL Jr., a scholar graduate who will be introduced properly in a little while. Thank you for joining us, Attorney BAHUL. Welcome to this DAD the DOST Scholar. This is already the second month that we are doing this activity which is again titled at the DOST Scholar. With the need of the times in this COVID-19 pandemic, DOST-CAR launched this at the DOST Scholar on January 29, 2021. This is a new advocacy initiative of DOST-CAR, which time has come towards inclusive enhancement of science culture throughout the region. When I say inclusive, I would like to mean that the farthest barangay in CAR should be informed of the DOST Science and Technology Scholarship Program. Based on UNESCO standard, there should be 380 R&D personnel per million population, and as of 2015, our country has 270. Thus, a gap of 110 researchers, scientists, and engineers per million population. Further, the Philippine Development Plan recognizes the role of science, technology, and innovation in the nation's long-term economic and social progress. With DOST as the premier agency for science, technology, and innovation, DOST-CAR remains steadfast in promoting the scholarship program for priority science and technology courses. Since 2013, the regional office institutionalized the SNT Scholarship Caravan, wherein we go to all the provinces every year to promote SNT scholarship program. In today's health pandemic, our caravan did not push through last year. This year, physical gathering still remains a challenge, but we have the virtual platforms which we adapted as our modality. Previously, when we conduct a seminar or activity for the scholars, we usually invite a graduate scholar to deliver inspirational message as a way of sharing his or her coping mechanisms as DOST scholar and emerging successful against all odds and challenges while studying. These activities are done, however, at most 4 times a year. We will continue to do this, but we also need to think of more venues where scholarship programs will be promoted, as I said, to the last farthest community in CAR. Thus, this at the DOST Scholar. This is an engagement of the agency with the scholar graduates themselves as advocates. And I call the scholar graduates ambassadors, ambassadors for our science and technology scholarship program. Engaging the DOST's scholar graduates to advocate the DOST's scholarship program has not been optimally explored for the past years. Today, we want them do their advocacies beyond the walls of the scholars' activities. No one is better to promote our scholarship program than the scholars themselves. And for them to continue to advocate STI, especially in their spheres of influence. Doing this at the DOST Scholar will hopefully encourage the students to pursue SNT courses and be actively engaged in STI after graduation, preferably in our country. To the incoming college students who are with us today, be counted in the next 4 or 5 years as one of those who will fill in the gap of 110 researchers, scientists, and engineers in the country that we still need. God bless everyone. Matago-tagot ako amin.
Salamat po, Director Nancy, sa inspirasyon at direksyon ng inyong mensahe.
Noong isang buwan ay nalaman natin na ang salitang dadat ay galing sa Kankanay term na ang ibig sabihin ay kwento. Ito ang mga kwentong binibigyan ng buhay sa pamamagitan ng pagkanta upang tumatak sa mga nakikinig ang mga napakinggang kwento.
Upang malaman pa kung ano ang aral na mapupulot natin sa pamamagitan ng dadat na ito, muli naming ipinapakilala ang aming Scholarship Coordinator, Ma'am Alicia A. Balacua.
Maphod ang nawiit datao an namin. According to the 2015 survey of the R&D expenditure and human resources, specifically the distribution of R&D personnel by region, CAR has only 467 or 1.27% compared to NCR, which has 13,107 or 36%. Philippines still has 270 R&D personnel per million population compared to UNESCO suggests that there should be 380 R&D personnel per million population. This leaves a gap of 110 R&D personnel per million population for the country. The Department of Science and Technology, Cordillera Administrative Region, have been exerting efforts to advocate projects that would increase awareness of the public regarding the scholarship program. One of these include scholarship caravans being done yearly. Scholarship staff of the region goes around the different senior high schools to promote the scholarship programs aside from promoting it through radio, print, and social media. As mentioned by Director Bantog in her message, the COVID-19 has limited travels, and as an innovation, DOST-CAR is conducting this virtual interview with identified graduate scholars to encourage more students to enroll in S&T courses. The activity is entitled at the DOST Scholar, also known as a DOST Scholar Story. Dadat is a Kankanaey term which means a story. Traditionally, it is done by singing and followed by a short narration in between. The narration is for variation and at the same time for the storyteller to catch some breath before resuming. For this episode, it will focus on the storytelling part through narration. Dadat in a deeper sense is a sort of ballad telling stories of gods and goddesses, love stories, legends, and great men performing great deeds. It is chanted by only one person who knows the dadat, to either entertain or to inform. Hence this activity. To appreciate how dadat is done, allow us to indulge you with a short clip from the Ayuwang Digangsa Cultural Group.
Ay, yun pa di surat di ialaliday kalanday di UST anay. Kat ayagam ng kakainyan tata. Ayagam ng kakainyan tanay nyali ng Department of Science and Technology. Ay naay. Ay pagsayatan na scholarship ay na pang iskina. Ayagam ng kakainyan tao.
Wali tao. Kakalyan! Lumali kayo! Wadat ng DOST! Susunod! Agway Joe! Walang Joe kaibigan! Yan!
Iipa umali ayaw! Ayun, nata. Inda takot ayagan ta ko nanay kananday. Iyayag to ko na kananday pagsayata nanay. Nay di, amami ay kabunyan. Naing kami ayagan ng kakailyan ta, umali ta. Da kayo abos ay kakailyan ay silawam da ida sa panunot ya, namnam ya. Ta ilangan na ng programa nanay Department of Science and Technology. Nay mangitid sinan mandato da sinan administrasyon sinan na ay kananda scholarship ay libre ay iskila. Ayagan mi da kayo sinan na ay kananda ay buyaon nyo ya ayag miya buyaon nyo nanay kananda ay dadat di DOST Iskolar. Shout nanay gagraduate ay wadan ambassador ay siya na ikandaw. Kat siya nang dawat mi kun si kay kabunyantan. Naidanan ayagan nyo kung da kayo mambuybuya ayayag nyo sinan kakadwaya kakailyan ta umali kay mambuya ta. Madagop ko ta maurnong sinan scholarship ay naitid ng DOST. Ayun! Ayagan ta ko kailyan ta ko! Kakailyan! Agwagyo! Ayun!
Dosayan, tulungan sa kami kabunyan. Tulungan sa kami kabunyan. Dosayan, sikaw nawad nga to. Bansanib ko nan nga tiyano. Dosayan, dosayan, bansanib ko nan nga tiyano. Dosayan, dosayan, itsyong nanurno siya kapya. Sinan labaw chinbida. Dosayan, dosayan, sinan labaw chinbida. Dosayan, dosayan, umutsan kasilin awa. Halloween awa minun barswa. Dosayan, dosayan, Halloween awa minun barswa. Dosayan, dosayan, itsyong kasim kanca kami.
Maraming salamat po sa mga kabataan na nakiisa sa buwanan nating pagdiriwang ng DADAT DOST Scholar. Maraming salamat din po sa mga namumuno sa Ibaloy Heritage Park, lalong-lalo na po kay Ma'am Vicky Makay.
At maraming salamat din po sa NCIP Baguio Community Service Center sa pagpapaunlak ng aming kahilingan. To give us an idea of who our guest speaker for today, allow us to present to you a short film of him.
isa talaga sa mga ipinagmamalaki na core values ng isang DOST scholar ang pagiging isang servant leader.
Bukod sa servant leadership, isa din sa mga core values ng ating mga scholars ang professional excellence at social responsibility.
Lahat ng core values na yan, servant leadership, professional excellence at social responsibility ay itinatauhan ng isang DOST Patriot Scholar.
Sa panahon ngayon, nagpapasalamat kami sa lahat ng graduate scholars na taus-pusong nagsisilbi para sa ating bayan.
At upang formal na ipakilala ang ating pinangaralan na panauhin, ipinapakilala po namin ang Provincial Director ng Ifugao Science and Technology Center, si Director Jenna B. Halyurina.
Scholars, university coordinators, viewers, the DOST family, staff, and fellow provincial directors, to our assistant regional directors and regional director, maphod an algo idita kuan ang in. Good morning to each and every one of us. It is an honor for me to introduce our resource person for today's episode of the DOST Scholar and one of our regional ambassadors of the DOST-SEI Scholarship Program. Born at Lagawe, Ifugao, he graduated as valedictorian in Baguio Elementary School in Kiangan, Ifugao. A consistent honor student at Don Bosco High School, Lagawe, Ifugao, and a special honorable mention at St. Joseph School in Kiangan, Ifugao. An awardee of RA 7687 scholarship in 1994, our speaker graduated with the Latin Award cum laude in BS Agriculture at Benguet State University, La Trinidad, Benguet. For the duration of his scholarship, he was awarded Benguet State University Student Leader of the Year in 1990. In the same year, he was a finalist in the search for 10 outstanding students of the Philippines, CAR. He was also the team captain of the best debating team, which won the championship at BSU in 1996. Through his continuous pursuit of perfection, he took up his Doctor of Medicine as a full scholar at Our Lady of Fatima University, College of Medicine in Valenzuela City. He came home to render his service obligation at the Cordillera Highland Agricultural Resources Management Project and at the Regional Agricultural and Fisheries Information Division, both under the Department of Agriculture in CAR. Simultaneously with his service obligation, he pursued his degree in Bachelor of Laws at the Baguio Colleges Foundation, now University of the Cordilleras, and passed the 2003 bar exams at 24 years old. His ascent to the ladder of public service was based on his genuine desire to serve the Filipino people. At 33 years old, our speaker was appointed judge in the Municipal Circuit Trial Court of Lamot, Kiangan, Tinok, Asipulo in the Province of Ifugao, and concurrent acting presiding judge in MCTC Tuba, Sablan in the Province of Benguet. Through his dedication to the administration of justice, he disposed of 920 cases since commencing judicial duty in regular station and other courts served in acting or in designated capacity. As a model of professional excellence, he was recently appointed judge in the Regional Trial Court Branch 2 Family Court of Baguio City, and at the same time, he is inspiring the youth of the nation as a law instructor at the University of Baguio. Our speaker is blessed with 4 beautiful children to Attorney Josephine Bacning Manuel BAHUL, and his eldest is now an applicant of the 2021 DOST-SEI SNT Undergraduate Scholarship. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our graduate scholar from Ifugao, Judge Modesto Damo Bahol Jr.
Hi, Judge.
Hello, good morning. Thank you, Ma'am Jenna Halorina. Thank you for that introduction.
Sir, baka may gusto po kayong batiin sa mga nanonood po natin ngayon.
Okay, good morning to everyone, to the DOST-CAR officials, those who are hosting this show, Ma'am Alice, Mike, Novi, and Gran, and Director Bantog, while she is not on live with us, and Director Pikpikan. Good morning po sa inyong lahat. I am happy to be here to share my story with you, and I hope na ma-inspire kayo to be a DOST scholar also, those of you who are still in high school, and pursue your dreams with the DOST. It's actually a very good scholarship program that will help you pursue your dreams and have a better life in the future. So thank you for having me.
Thank you so much po, sir. So, may mga katanungan po kaming tatanungin po sa inyo. So, paano po ninyo nalaman
Sure.
ang tungkol po sa scholarship na ito?
Okay, I don't particularly remember pa kasi that was 1993 pa eh. But I could guess it's either of two things. I have an aunt who is a professor in ISCAF, now IFSU, in Nayon, where the provincial office of the DOST is located at the time. I don't know if it's still there. She might have been the person who mentioned it, or it might be the school who mentioned to us na merong DOST scholarship. And that is actually the only scholarship program that I heard while I was in high school. So I grabbed the opportunity.
Okay po, sir. Maraming salamat po. May nalaman po ba kayong background regarding po sa scholarship, or nalaman nyo lang po?
I just heard actually about the DOST scholarship. Ako, naghahanap ako ng scholarship talaga. Kasi I was worried about college. You see, lima kami magkakapatid. Magkakasunod kami ng high school. When I was in first year, second year yung ate ko, third year and fourth year yung kuya ko. I was worried baka pagdating ko ng college, ako na yung hindi mag-aaral dahil I come from a poor family. It's difficult to say na gagastusan kami, 4 kami lahat sa college. So ako naghahanap ng scholarship, pero fortunately I heard of the DOST, and then ako, kung ano man siguro ang scholarship na narinig ko at that time, a-applyan ko. Ito, I heard of it like July or August yata yun. Fresh pa ako. Kalilipat ko lang sa St. Joseph School for 4th year lang noon. Nag-apply ako. So yun, by October naka-exam. Actually, unang beses bumagsak ako Baka that's a story. Ituloy ko na binanggit nyo na how I knew about it October of 1993, I remember, there was a first exam. And sa nationwide, parang a few people lang daw yung pumasa. I took that exam in DOST Provincial Office in Ifugao, sa Lamut. We failed, but we were later notified kaya umulit kami because of the very low number daw nung pumasa. Umulit kami, I remember that was like January or February of 1994. So we took another exam. I had it in Bontoc before. Hindi ko alam na mas convenient pala ang pupuntang Baguio kaysa Bontoc. I chose Bontoc kasi feeling ko mas malapit. Hindi ko alam ang daan noon I went there, took the exam. Fortunately, I passed. So before graduation from high school, I know I passed the scholarship exam. So sabi ko, makakapag-aral ako. Yun.
Talaga po palang blessing in disguise po yung scholarship po para sa inyo. Paano po ninyo maikukumpara ang interest sa science and technology nung high school po kayo, tapos yung panahon po ngayon?
Okay, science and technology is a very broad area naman So kahit saan actually magagamit mo sa buhay. Agriculture is science and technology. I grew up in a farming community. doon galing actually yung pinakamaraming Baguio beans nyo dati na napupunta dito sa Baguio. That was my barangay. And I grew up raising pigs, ducks, and chickens to help my family. Science is everywhere to me. And I'm not a handyman when it comes to like yung sa engineering work. So I'm more of that part, raising the agriculture part. Pero ang isip ko actually noon is I'm good at math. So ang inisip ko is mag-accountancy na lang ako. Parang yun yung common eh. Cashier kasi yung nanay ko. So she's good at numbers. Parang iniisip ko yon. Pero yun, my interest in science is because of things that I encountered in life. Yung mother ko, about mathematics, yung the life that we lived as a family. Now I grew up in an agricultural family.
Maganda po yung example po sa mga kabataan natin na ginagamit po natin ang ating experience para po may bahagi kung gaano ka-importante ang science and technology po para sa atin. Doon po, sir, sa time na nag-a-apply po kayo, meron po ba kayong hindi makakalimutang karanasan po nung pinaprocess niyo po yung application niyo, bukod po sa nasabi niyo kanina?
Okay. Doon sa application ko kasi, yun nga, nung first time bumagsak, no? The second time, medyo duda na ako. Kahit sinabing pumasa hindi, graduate na ako, hindi ko pa alam kung magka-college talaga. Kung hoax na hindi talaga ako mag-qualify, although pumasa sa exam, what if? Yung mga ganong gumagana sa utak ko. And I worried, sabi ko, susunod ako sa college. Nasa college na yung 3 kong kapatid. Paano na ako kung hindi talaga ako mag-qualify? So, when I heard of another scholarship actually, on my way to Baguio to submit yung requirements ko sa DOST-CAR, I went to another exam. I passed, pero sabi ko, wait lang, punta muna ako sa DOST kasi nandun yung i-submit ko yung requirements. Kung talagang qualified ako doon, regardless of what I really did not know much about the DOST scholarship, pero parang nung pumasa ako, nagtanong ako, sabi, it will cover my tuition, I will have some allowance. So sabi ko, that will be great. It will make sure na hindi ako mag-worry sa tuition ko and pagkain, if ever. So, ayun, I went to DOST-CAR, submitted the requirements, and then hindi ko makakalimutan doon is when I read the contract and it says, pag hindi mo natapos, for whatever reason, magre-refund ka ng benefits that you derived with legal interest. At 14 years old, mind you, 14 years old ako at that time nung graduate ako ng high school and I got that scholarship. Nag-worry ako. Ano mangyayari? Babayaran ko pa pala yun. But anyway, I took it as a challenge actually. Nasabi ko, well, nag-exam ako, pumasa ako. There must be some good brains in my head that bakit ako pumasa. So I better take this as a challenge and do good sa school para hindi ako matanggal sa scholarship, para hindi ako magbayad. That's a good thing that's parang worrisome, but it's a good thing that happened to me. The pressure was a good challenge for me. Yun ang hindi ko ever makakalimutan because, okay, idagdag ko na. During my college days, actually, second year and third year, I got low grades, 2.25. Worried na ako doon. Ayoko na noon because of, yun, sabi ko, I have to be, as a DOST scholar, we are required to have more than just good grades. For no reason, for a reason I do not know, ganun yung grades ko. Nagre-reklamo ako pero I can't do anything. Anong remedy? Lakas ng dasal kay Lord. Nabigyan ako ng remedyo. I took up additional subjects to make up for that. So nabalanse ko, mataas yung grades ko sa biology subjects ko. I'm good in biology. And then one thing more, before I graduate, the worry came back about the contract. Why? Nakita nyo dun sa video clip kanina, I was an associate editor of our school paper. Being an active, yung student activism ko got the better of me. I was actually threatened with a lawsuit for libel on my 4th year. Balik ako sa kontrata. Nako, gagraduate na ako. Pero bakit parang kakasuhan ako, tanggal ako, babayad ako? No way. Pero malakas pa rin ang dasal ko kay Lord. The lawsuit did not happen. So, I mean, good things happened. because of my DOST scholarship, I pressured myself to do best in my studies. And then yung mga ganon na worries ko, somehow God made a way na hindi nangyari. So I graduated with honors even, and I'm happy about it.
Very inspiring po, sir, yung kwento nyo. Hopefully po marami pong may inspire na mga viewers po natin, mas lalo po yung mga DOST scholar na ongoing po.
Yeah.
Kung po, nalaman po namin kanina din po, sir, na nag-apply din po yung anak niyo po for the scholarship. Did you convince her po to take the scholarship program or initiative niya po na mag-apply?
I actually saw the post and I convinced her because she knew. Alam niya na DOST scholar ako, and somehow she knows of my happy memories sa DOST. Kasi I shared to her, kaya siya mismo nung sinabi kong there is a DOST scholarship, gusto mo mag-apply? Ay sige po, kasi parang mas interesado siya sa pre-med course or pre-law course. So sabi ko, science is a good science and mathematics kasi nasa STEM naman siya eh. So it's a good scholarship to go to. Alam mo naman yung benefits and she applied. So I hope she gets it also.
Yes po, sir. We hope din po. Maraming salamat po,
Yeah.
sir. Nabanggit po kanina ni Director Nancy yung dun po sa kapihan na walang magaganap po na exam para po sa mga mag-a-apply nung isang taon. Bali yung mga applicants po natin, yung anak din niyo po, sir. Pero nung nag-apply po kayo, naranasan niyo po ba yung qualifying exam po? Sa karanasan po ninyo, ano po ang maipapayo ninyo sa mga kabataan na nagbabalak mag-apply sa DOST scholarship program kung bumalik na po ang pagsasagawa ng qualifying exams po?
Okay. Oh, that's a great one. Syempre nung high school ako, hindi ko alam kung ano mga gagawin. Pero coming from a very far from place, relatively, we are along the road pero malayo kami sa town center. Parang medyo may insecurities kami. We have to prove ourselves as a people na nanggaling sa liblib. As a high school student, I did my best in any subject. So I suggest kayo na mga nag-i-interest, nagbabalak to take the exams later on, qualifying exams for DOST or any other exam even, you do your best in your English, in your science and mathematics as unang kakailanganin nyo to pass the exams. Actually, science, math, and English, of course, kasi yun nga. Comprehension. You cannot really understand and answer well if you do not comprehend the questions that are asked. Sabi ko sa inyo kanina, I took the exam twice. First one, I failed. It would probably mean, well, kulang yung naaral ko. But then the second time, that was already a few months after, I was better prepared. Alam mo yun, so preparation is the key. Alam nyo, mga bata na gusto nyo mag-exam ng scholarship exams later on, do good, magbasa kayo, mag-aral kayo, seryosohin nyo yung math, science, and English subjects nyo. Especially kasi yun yung mga common in your DOST exams. Sa other scholarships naman, you will have your history, of course, social studies. So, as a whole, take your high school subjects seriously, learn a lot from it because it will help you pass the scholarship exams if you really want to get a scholarship and help you in your college education. Yeah. Uh-oh. I did not hear you, Mike. Parang naputol. Ano yun uli?
Okay.
Ayan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry po. So, thank you sa advice po ninyo, and to reiterate, preparation po is the key. And to
Yes.
proceed, may we acknowledge the presence of our regional director, Director Nancy Bantog. Any message po, Ma'am Nancy?
Good morning, Ma'am Nancy.
Yan, anyway, pag medyo okay na yung signal, tawagin po ulit natin siya. So, sir, any other relatives po na DOST scholar? Kasi magkakasunod po kayo na magkakapatid.
Wala, actually ako lang. Ako yung pang-apat eh.
Okay.
Yung bunso namin, he did not take the exams kasi parang naisip namin, we were preoccupied with, he has a CAPS, ano yun? Yung educational plan. We relied
Okay.
on that.
Yung CAP.
Actually, kulang. Siguro it's because kulang yung information at that time for us in that area. Kaya hindi namin masyadong alam na eto yearly pala siya, and then akala ko tsambahan lang yon siguro. I mean, we really did not know at the time na the scholarship is every year nandyan siya. So anybody who is qualified can apply.
Okay. Sir, nung lumipat po kayo from Ifugao to BSU, how did you cope po nung first year po ninyo?
Ay nako. Being very young then, mahirap. Kaya that's hindi ko yata nabanggit kanina. My choice of school, related to that kasi Mike, my choice of school was actually Baguio sana because I was about to take up accountancy. Pero naawa ako sa, sabi ko, dagdag expense ng parents ko if I will stay in a different place kasi my three elder sister and brothers are in BSU. Tatlo sila in BSU. Ayokong lumayo. So sabi ko, doon na lang ako. And partly, the reason there is, yun nga, yung expenses. And ba't ako mapag-isa? I was very young then. Mahirap mag-adjust alone. Marami akong batch sa high school who studied in SLU where I intended to have taken my undergraduate sana. Pero sabi ko, iba pa rin yung pamilya. I was yet very young. I need guidance, I know. So, doon ako sa BSU. At least, nandun yung mga kapatid ko. Hindi ako masyado nahirapan dahil kahit wala yung parents ko who I am close with, kahit gaano ako ka-homesick, I can deal with it because I still have my sister and my brothers with me. Tsaka may auntie ako doon na isa nag-aaral din sa BSU who actually worked sa DOST right after graduation. She was a librarian before. Yun, hindi ako masyadong nahirapan in the sense na nandun yung mga kapatid ko. And syempre, ang culture kasi sa BSU is much like in Ifugao na parang it's friendly. The fellow Cordillerans are good people. I did not worry about them. I had lots of friends with them.
Thank you, sir. Sir, paano naman po yung grade requirement ng first year kayo? Hindi po ba kayo worried or ano po yung challenges nyo doon?
Okay, syempre there's this adjustment sa from high school to college na iba-iba pala ang teacher sa iba-ibang subject. Tapos you have to cope with different temperaments ng mga teachers na sa high school mabait pa sila, dito pwede ka mabulyawan. Mas malakas ang dasal ko kaysa takot ko. Kaya minsan pag ganon, natatakot na ako. I just pray na, Lord, tulungan mo na lang ako kasi I need to have good grades because I don't want to lose my scholarship. Parang mga ganon ako lagi mag-isip. I did not have a lot of difficulty because I focused really. Para hindi ako ma-homesick, nag-focus ako sa pag-aaral ko. And that did good to me kasi first year pa lang, more or less, medyo matataas na yung grades ko. So I did not worry actually. Focus lang, sabi ko, focus.
Sir, ilang taon po kayo nung first year college po kayo? 14?
I graduated from high school ng 14. So 14 pa ako nung nagsimula ng first year high school.
14 years old na palayo na kayo at medyo mabigat na yung scholarship, yung obligation sa grades.
Oh yes.
Nung lumipat po kayo, sir, binigyan na rin po kayo ng financial assistance. Nagkasya po ba ito during your first year until you finish po?
Okay. Yung you might be meaning yung
stipends
monthly
po,
allowances and books and uniform allowance. Yes. Actually, more or less, everything was okay. For me, BSU yun, no? Ang tuition namin is not even 500 at the time. So, wala akong problema sa tuition. It's just na yung living allowance. At that time, it was like 2,500 yata. At that time, kung ako lang, buhay ako noon. Kasi ang rent doon is less than 1,000 in the Balili area. I could have lived with that alone. Pero, syempre, adjusting ako, my parents had to help dun sa ibang needs ko. Syempre, may libro kang bibilhin, may mga gamit ka sa kung kulangin from your allowance, yun yung help ng parents. But on one hand, actually my allowance sometimes help my brothers and sister because kung laging may bagyo noon, sarado ang daan, walang padalang pagkain, mahirap magpadala ng pera. Yun, we survive. And this is one thing I'm happy about actually, to share with the scholars para maisip nila kagad na, uy, maganda maging DOST scholar. Every month ako actually yung unang-unang pupunta sa Land Bank La Trinidad to withdraw my allowance. Kaya memoryado ako ng mga tellers who are familiar with me even now kasi they are still there na tellers dito sa Baguio and La Trinidad. That's my happiest moment, that's my high moment sa DOST scholarship kasi hindi na ako nagwo-worry sa tuition ko. Every month nandyan yung allowance without fail.
Without fail.
Yun yung isipin nyo kasi ang pinakamahirap to deal with is kung wala kang pan-tuition, wala kang allowance, wala kang pangkain. Kakalamang sikmura mo paano ka mag-aral na mabuti. So, the DOST scholarship to me was my parents because secure ako sa buhay ko na hindi ko i-worry yung tuition ko. May allowance ako to cover the necessities of my studies. Kung ano man yung kulang, nandyan na yung parents ko who are always supportive sa akin. So yun.
Thank you very much, sir. Sir, interesting question po. Now that we are already passing the first year of this national health emergency, how could you have coped up in your studies, assuming that this pandemic happened in 1994 when you were in college?
Okay. That's a great one instead of just saying, oy, ganito gawin nyo. Siyempre, kung ako yon, it's better kung I will relate it to myself. If I were at that, if the COVID-19 pandemic were present in 1994 to 98, back when I was in college, I would have really still took the challenge of adapting to the change that is needed to survive. Kasi alam ko, I have to maintain my scholarship. Adapt to changes because it's needed. How can you survive it? How can you, finish a degree if you, sabi mo, mahirap ang mag-internet, mahirap. Hindi ako techie eh. So, but I adapt, I learn para lang to survive whatever is the challenge ahead of me. So kung noon, hindi ko alam ang computer eh. So kung may pandemic doon, di pinilit ko rin na inaral. I actually learned computer because of I was in the university paper. I had to learn how to encode, etc. So if it were pandemic at that time, inaral ko siguro na mag-internet din kahit hindi ako techie. I will not refuse. That should be the attitude. I will not refuse to learn because I need to learn to survive. And then one thing is to innovate. Ano pang gagawin ko para mas mapadali ang buhay ko? Minsan din, you have to talk to your friends, keep in touch with friends and family para hindi ka ma-depress. At this time, napapansin ko sa mga bata, ang depression is a big issue because kulong ka sa bahay. Kung ako, at that time siguro, ang gagawin ko is, as I would have always did, keep in touch with my relatives, my family, para hindi ako ma-depress, hindi ako ma-homesick masyado, hindi ako ma-isolate. And yun, my strong faith in a God, regardless of religion, siya lang yung makakausap mo kahit wala kang kasama sa bahay. Kung wala yung mga kapatid ko, wala yung parents ko, I would have always just prayed and talked with the Supreme Being because He is in control. Na He will guide my thoughts para hindi ako suicidal. For example, may taong ganun eh. I have friends na ganun. I would not have went through that. Sa akin, I think of life as being having a purpose. Imposible nandito lang ako for this eh. So I should not be, ba't ako magsosukom sa difficulties? Mahirap ang buhay dahil hindi ka lalabas because it's pandemic. Pero what can I do to improve my life, I will do anything for that. So kung pandemic noon, I know I would have survived. Knowing what I've been through and knowing yung ugali ko na, I develop a character na fight lang, kumbaga. Laban lang, bakit ba? Hindi porke galing ako sa poor family, I will stay poor. Yun yung isang challenge. Para lang, I focus on the goal para matapos ko. So I would adjust, I will adapt, I will innovate. I will keep my relationships and connections para lang hindi ako mawala sa tamang landas. Yun.
Thank you, sir. So to our viewers po, lalo na yung mga ongoing scholars, adapt to changes this time of pandemic. Do not refuse to learn, innovate, and keep in touch with your family, and of course, pray. And
Yes.
sir, can you share some of the memorable moments you had during your scholarship and when rendering your service obligation?
Yeah.
Ah.
Aside from yung nabanggit ko kanina, dun sa when I was in college na nag-worry ako sa grades, and then yung nag-worry ako sa lawsuit that that would have happened kung, I don't know, kung inallow ni Lord na mangyari. As I said, my high moments were the sense of security that I had. Na hindi ako mag-worry sa tuition ko and allowance ko because of DOST and my supportive parents. The other high is when I graduated with honors, I got a job. And in that job, I enjoyed it somehow. Information officer ako ng Cordillera Highland Agricultural Resource Management Project. This is a foreign-funded project of the DA covering Abra, Benguet Mountain Province. Yes, only at the time. Yung part 1, yung Charm 1. Rendering my service obligation was actually sa akin blessing yon. Hindi siya yung obligatory lang because how else, 'di ba? Mas maganda yung required ka na nga magtrabaho sa Pilipinas ka pa. You helped your own country. You rendered service to make up for yung support sa'yo ng government. And I learned a lot from my service obligation, yung how to deal with other people, with workmates, with a boss, how to deal with community people because I went to the fields. Naglakad ako ng yun, mga bundok-bundok na yan to document agricultural activities. And then, one big thing more is my DOST scholarship that helped me graduate from college and got me a job, helped me actually pursue my law career because I was able to pursue my law studies. Nabanggit kanina actually ni Director Haliorina that I went to med school.
Yes,
that was only 1 year because yung full scholarship ko kinat down nila, very poor ang family ko. We cannot afford a medical my medical expenses in medical school. So I had to quit on my second year na dapat ako. That's when I started working sa DA. Fortunately, I was taken in as an information officer. So all 4 years na nagsa-service obligation ako, nag-aral ako sa School of Law, and that's it. So that led me to where I am now. I mean, I certainly owe it to in big part to DOST na natapos ko yung college ko at that young age na hindi ako kailangan mag-stop at antayin ko yung ibang mga kapatid ko to finish before studying. So I think DOST a lot for these are good memories to me and these are good happenings in my life.
Sir, you were then team captain of the best debating team at BSU. Sir, ano po ito, yung debate na ito?
I don't remember anong topic namin noon, but I actually was inspired to go to law because of two teachers. My teacher in psychology when I was in first year was a law graduate. She was not then a lawyer, pero siya yung advisor ng debating team. And then sabi niya, ikaw, sa kadaldalan mo, pwede ka. Sige, you join the debating team. So nung una, sa limpusa lang. Later on, when I was in second year, yun na yung na select kami. There was another teacher who dropped out from law school because of the martial law before. Na inspired ako sa how she teaches social studies. So sabi ko, sige nga, makidebate nga ako. Bakit ba? Kung pinapa-recite din lang ako lagi, I might as well join the team dun sa debating team. So, ayun. I was actually on one side of anak ni Director Ladilad noon is on the other side of the team. I was on the other side. We were both in the debate club. and it was a good experience because I gained confidence to speak in front of people. Takot ako sa mic. Ayokong hawakan ng mic. Ninenervyos ako. Pero with that, I had to contend with it. And then, yun, I was, Maru, the son of Director Ladila then was the best speaker, but I won. I was the team captain of the better team of the two. So, I mean, well, we did our best as young people then to experience as much as we can from and learn from those who are ahead of us. It was quite a good experience, really.
Sir, another extracurricular po. You were a finalist of the Search for 10 Outstanding Students of the Philippines. Could you tell us more about this activity po?
Okay. Those of you who will go to college soon enough, hindi lang pag-aaral ang iisipin nyo rin. You have to develop your value and your character and your leadership while in college, because that is your preparation to the career that you will pursue later on. The reason probably why I was one of those finalists sa 10 outstanding students is ang pinapasubmit nilang requirements are your involvement in extracurricular activities, your academic achievement, and your accomplishments as a student. So I luckily I got awards for the things that I was involved with in college. Yung mga extracurricular activities ko, hindi ako madamot sa oras ko. Yun nga, sabi ko, I was secure because of wala akong problema sa tuition and allowance. So ano pang gagawin ko? Focus on my studies and develop my leadership. I was involved in many clubs in school. So yun, getting there sa 10 outstanding students ng Cordillera actually yan. The reason why I was probably not in the top 10 is wala ako sa interview because I had to take, on the day of the interview, I was taking the scholarship exam sa Fatima in Manila for my medical degree, supposedly. But still, wala akong regrets for that because yung award naman na yon, yung being in the outstanding students of the Cordillera is because of previous achievements. So I encourage you, mga high school students, when you go to college, pagbutihin nyo yung pag-aaral nyo and then maging involved din kayo in community activities, in worthy causes, hindi yung bad influence ng ibang tao and bad vices. Yeah.
Sir, napakadami niyong extracurricular activities, no? Paano po ninyo ito napagsabay-sabay with your academics po? And syempre, nag-graduate po kayong with honors, cum laude. Paano po ito? Ano po yung may rule ba to? May technique?
It's just probably always compartmentalizing na. What I mean is, kung nag-aaral ako. Pero pag yung free time, making the most out of your time is the key actually. Pag nag-aaral ako, yun lang muna yung focus ko. Pag naman tapos ako sa school, instead na gallivanting around, nandun ako sa office ng university paper. That's where I learned how to use the computer. That's where I talk to people. And then I talk to some student leaders. And maboka ako sa mga classmates ko. Dahil madaldal ako yung isinusubo nila to talk to people, to talk to our teachers, or to organize our group. That's how it was for me sa college. And I owe it to BSU for yung alam mo yung very free yung environment at the time. Libre kami to do our thing. They encourage our involvement in extracurricular activities, but they also emphasize achieving academically. So we do not lose focus on the academics, but we stay involved in community activities. We call it community because that's the school is the community we had at the time. Yeah.
Sir, Ma'am Nancy is raising her hand. Ma'am Nancy, can you hear us po?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am Nancy?
Naka-mute si Ma'am Nancy.
Nag-raise hand siya kanina
Oh. And I saw Ma'am Pita kanina.
So, anyway po, in this new normal, sir, meron po tayong mga alternative learning systems. And bilang isang seasoned professional, ano po yung may papayo ninyo para sa ating mga current ongoing students?
Okay, alternative learning. Personally,
Mm-hmm.
I have difficulty relating to this is rather different for me talking to you virtually, ha.
Yes po.
I'm more of a person who wants to talk face to face. So it takes a lot of courage, confidence, and guts to to really express yourself virtually kasi wala kang kausap computer or cellphone yung kaharap mo. But for you, kiddos na young ones na still learning, studying through this different way of learning na virtual, na you look at your teacher in the cell phone or in the computer, it's difficult, but you have to make the most of the technology that is available. Buti nga may ganito. Kung imagine nyo nung kami at that time, kung pandemic at walang computer, walang internet, anong mangyayari? So walang klase. Be thankful there is technology. You have to adapt to it. Learn a lot. Improve on your learning by, ayan, how do I get to learn better without too much exposure sa computer, for example? Di, kung kaya mo na i-print out o kaya mo isulat mas mabilis, di sige. I mean, innovate, as I said kanina, to maximize technology and learn as much as you can without hurting your health also. I mean, this is difficult times kasi sira ang mata mo. Lagi kang nakaupo, if only to learn. I have seminars like this kasi para akong estudyante pag naka-seminar, mandatory pa yon. Sasakit ang likod mo, but hey, we have to go through it. Hindi mawawala si COVID pandemic very soon. It could take a long time, so we have to adapt to this. We have to decide and do the best that we can. Yun.
Okay. Thank you, sir. So, sa mga ongoing scholars po natin yon. Ngayon, so we should adapt to it. So, iwasan po natin yung mag-leave of absence kung kaya po natin. And then, of course, siyempre po, you are also a teacher yourself. So, pati si Judge Bahul, nag-a-adapt din sa alternative learning systems. Sir, sa mga advice po sa mga out-of-school youth ngayon, na baka gusto nila pong mag-avail ng mga government scholarships, which DOST is one.
Okay. Maswerte kayo mga bata ngayon. I consider myself old. Kasi marami kayong avenues to pursue your education. Unlike before, pag nag-drop out ka from high school, hindi mo na maitutuloy. Kailangan bumalik ka kahit matanda ka na. Ngayon, may alternative learning system, di ba? Yung ALS, that you can finish your high school with informally, or you go through a department sa DepEd na gagawin nyo yon. I encourage you to really pursue your education because isipin nyo to, mahirap ang buhay even for college graduates, even for those who have jobs, di lalo na pang wala kang pinag-aralan. Lalo kang hahamakin ng kung sino. So kung may pinag-aralan ka, at least may paglaban mo ang sarili mo. You can have a better opportunity to earn better for your family. And with scholarships, you can go a long way. Kahit hindi na madaling rason ngayon yung mahirap ang buhay No, because there are lots of help from the government. DOST scholarship is one. There are lots of other scholarships that you can use, that you can avail to improve your lot in this world. You just have to look, you just have to strive. Pagigihan nyo ang buhay nyo kasi kung mag-self-pity kayo sa kinalalagyan nyo ngayon na mahirap na buhay or difficult, sige, meron kami pera pero yung parents ko hindi maayos ang pamilya namin, it's not the reason. Please remember, it's your life you are dealing with. Aayusin mo yung buhay mo, hindi yung buhay ng iba muna, yung sarili mo. The least that you can do is improve yourself para hindi ka maging liability sa community. Kung hindi ka maging productive man lang, do not be a liability, at least provide for yourself. So how can you do that? Study, get an education, and avail of scholarships like DOST and TESDA for kung yung ayaw nyo sa degree courses. At least do something to better your life. Yun lang po.
Thank you very much, sir.
Maraming salamat po, sir. Na-inspire po kami sa mga kwento mo kanina, sa mga sharings mo. Sir, mga konting tanong na lang po.
Yeah, sure.
Sir, sa isang DOST scholar po kasi nare-require sila ng service obligation. Sir, maaari po ba ninyong ikwento ang naging karanasan ninyo while rendering your service obligation? Though nabanggit po ninyo yung iba kanina, baka may mga mababanggit pa po kayo mga karanasan po ninyo while doing this.
Okay. My service obligation for my DOST scholarship is basically all 4 years that I was with DA Charm Project. There was like a year, exactly a year that I left kasi I was about na umalis ako dahil gusto ko sanang bumalik sa medical school. See my frustration, I wanted to be a doctor. Pero somehow, after 2 weeks, sabi ko, hindi, I will finish my law education. So I went back. Hindi rin na-break yung yung service ko dahil pagkaalis ko ng Charm Project, habang nagmuni-muni, nag-report din ako sa DA Regional Office sa Information Division. So tuloy-tuloy yon, mas mababa nga lang ang sweldo. Kaya bumalik pa rin ako sa Charm after a year. I got to, alam mo yon, sa work ko as an information officer, I got to learn how to live in a working environment, to survive in a working environment na merong somehow discrimination from permanent employees sa job orders like us before, who were forever waiting for their salaries and all. But then it makes your character stronger. You learn more from it. You learn to adapt and to survive. So I mean, enjoy ko yung buhay ko dahil I got to see Abra, Mountain Province, and Benguet na ang service vehicle ng Charm ang gamit because it's official business. I got to see how farmers really face their problems na maninigas yung mga tanim nila sa atok and bugyas or napepeste and all, and then the government, and I get to see the government doing something about it. So that's profound for me. That's a good experience. I know how government is working towards bettering the communities that we have. So sa service obligation ko, sabi ko nga kanina, it's not more of an obligation. I was thankful I had a job. I supported myself through law school, and I get to see these people to see how they live, na may mas malala pa pala ang buhay kaysa sa akin for me growing up at the time. So the service obligation was not really an obligation to me. It was a chance to experience the life of others and to have that work experience na kakailanganin mo to go up the ladder in your career, di ba? Kung hindi ka pagbibigyan, anong sasabihin ni DOST? Hindi ka nagtatrabaho dito. Sabi nyo, service obligation, wala namang maibigay na trabaho, masisisi nyo ba ako? But then, luckily for me, I got a job. So that's really good.
Ayun, so hindi po naging burden kay sir yung service obligation niya. Kasi sabi niya kanina na takot siya sa pagbayad, sir. Oo, sa refund
yes,
na 12%.
But Novi, I failed to mention pala something. I was also worried about one thing. Yung there is actually a whole departure order of sort. Hindi ka makaalis ng bansa because of that.
Okay, sir.
It's probably because of that na sometimes yung NBI clearances ko na-hold, and then when I was pumunta ako as an exchange student sa Korea before in 1996, I had to get clearance from DOST. But later on, nag-submit naman ako ng requirements. So, yung after ng 4 years ko sa DA, nabigay naman yung clearance ko. So, recently hindi na ako nahihit sa NBI. So, I was happy about that. It's just na, alam mo yun, it just emphasizes the point na pagka-graduate mo, you owe it to your country to serve kasi you benefited from it. You benefited from your government. At least serve your for going out of the country, and I like that because I'm also a patriotic person. We should render services to our own country first bago tayo mag-isip na lumayas at iwanan ang Pilipinas, because paano na ang future generation natin kung pare-pareho tayo ang iisipin is mag-abroad, di ba? And I have kids, so I need to think about the future for my kids.
Ayun, tatanungin ko na sana, sir, kung bakit hindi ninyo naisipan na mag-abroad.
Ah.
Oo. Knowing na you were an outstanding student, may mga graduate kayo ng with Latin honors, hindi po ninyo inisip na doon na lang sa abroad tumira, doon na lang magbigay ng doon mabuhay.
I actually thought about it. Naging Rotary World Peace Fellow yung misis ko in Australia for 2 years. So while I was a clerk of court sa Justice Hall ng Baguio, we actually applied to go there as tourist for the meantime, but I thought of why not live there. Pero kabago-bago kong abogado at that time, parang naisip namin ni misis na tapos ko na kasi yung service obligation ko at that time eh. Pero parang sabi ko, abogado ako tapos pupunta ako doon. May pride naman akong konti na sabihin kong, so ano gagawin ko doon? Mag-aaral uli ako, magwe-waiter ako hanggang kung tanggapin pa ako sa liit kong ito and all. You know, sabi ko, ay mahirap yung malayo sa pamilya. I'm more of, I have close family ties. It's difficult. Mabuti man ang buhay mo, paano na hindi madali ang magbisita sa pamilya mo rito? And I have lots of relatives. So, sabi ko hindi. Umuwi na lang yung misis ko. So, hindi kami natuloy na pumunta. Buti na lang kasi baka natikman ko ang magandang buhay doon hindi na ako bumalik.
Ayun.
Because I was done with my service obligation anyway.
Tama, sir. Sir, so may isa pa kaming tanong. Kasi naging magandang inspirasyon po yung naging buhay mo. Graduate ka ng valedictorian ng elementary, consistent honor, and graduated na honorable mention sa high school. Tsaka cum laude nung college. Tapos, at a young age, naging 24 years old kayo, sir, nung naging lawyer po kayo. And then naging judge po kayo at the age of 33 years old.
Yeah.
So your footsteps are truly worth following and your accomplishments worthy of admiration. However, sir, do you see this as a challenge, especially to your children or to your family?
Actually, nahihirapan yung anak ko. Having me as a father and having her mother as she just recently passed the bar actually, pero parang mataas yung tingin ng anak namin sa amin na nape-pressure siya, pero sabi ko don't. Isipin huwag kang ma-pressure dahil ganito ang attitude ko nung bata ako. While I am the first lawyer in the family, ang isip ko noon is maswerte ako. Pero the others in the family should not dictate how my life will go. I will determine my own path. Hindi ako pape-pressure sa kanila na kailangan ganito yung achievement mo and all. Kasi in the end, it's your life that you are preparing for. Yun yung point ko lagi. Na isipin mo kung anong ikabubuti mo, huwag kang ma-pressure sa kung ano yung sinasabi ko. As parents, we just give you advice, and yung ganun din sa siblings ko parang nape-pressured sila dahil sa what I accomplished. Pero sabi ko, no, it's your life. So, isipin nyo na buhay nyo yung inaayos nyo, yung piniprepare nyo. So, don't think too much of what people say because of me or because of other people around you. Consider your abilities, the merits of your accomplishment and your qualifications, your attitude, your character. Doon ka. Huwag kang paapekto sa iba. Kasi yung sarili mo lang ang pwede mong ipaglaban. Hindi mo pwedeng gamitin ang influence ng ibang tao or kung ano yung good or bad influence nila sa'yo. It should not affect you. You determine your own path in life. Ganon ako kung mag-isip, and that's what I tell my daughter. Kasi yung panganay ko is mag-18 na, 8 years actually yung gap nila sa second. So siya lang yung parang adult na kausap ko. So it's, I get your drift na it's medyo difficult to be pressured.
Ayun, sir. Sir, maiba na po ako ng tanong. Medyo lumaktaw po ako. Sa pandemic po ngayon, marami po kasi mga estudyante, hindi na sila nag-attend ng classes. Due to siguro mga kanilang mga rason, ano pong mga advice ang maibibigay ninyo sa kanila to continue the pursuit of their careers aside sa mga, madami lang po kayo nasabi kanina, pero baka may mga maidadagdag pa po kayo.
Okay. Just to emphasize the point, sa mga nag-aaral, yun nga, do not give up. You have to learn the use of technology and maximize it. Kasi, malay nyo, in 10 years, 10 years from now, wala si COVID, pero something else ang meron din, and we have to deal with this pa rin. Virtual pa rin ang maraming transactions. We have to adapt, as I said a while back. Pero, isipin nyo pa rin na ang isipin nyo, ang focus nyo is it's for your benefit, kaya kailangan mong gawin yon. Kailangan mo matuto, kailangan mo mag-adapt. Sa mga sa mga gustong mag-give up, why will you give up? If you give up, will it change? 1 year from now, isipin mo, kung hindi pa rin nag-change ang circumstances, ganun ba, maibabalik mo ba yung 1 year na sinayang mo just sitting down, not doing anything? So isipin natin yon, yung sayang na buhay hindi natin maire-rewind. We cannot turn back time. So, kung ano yung circumstances ngayon, natin ngayon, we have to adapt to it. We have to adjust to it and face the challenge instead of shrink from it. Kasi kung aatras ka, wala, ikaw lang ang lugi. The rest of the world will move on and you will not. Mapag-iiwanan tayo kung ganun ang attitude natin. So, and those of you who are graduates na nahihirapang, yung DOST scholars na graduates na hindi pa nakakapagtrabaho, do not lose hope. There is always a job out there. Sabi nga, parang sa pag-aabogado rin, tsempo-tsempo lang yan. Kung ano yung will ni God, mangyayari yon. Ipagdasal mo na lang na mangyari yon. The job is just another application away. Ganon. Try and you will get there soon enough. Huwag kasing sabihin na sarili mo lang na accomplishment yon because it's not yours. This life is a borrowed life that we have, so we owe it. We should know whom to look up to and whom to thank for and whom to credit for whatever we have in life. Ipagdasal mo kaya, ipag-pray mo at mangyayari kung ano yung gusto mo sa buhay. A job, strength to withstand this difficulty sa pandemic na mahirap maging alone, maging isolated, maging ang kaharap is computer na walang taong kausap, yun. We have to have that. So, thank you, Novi.
Ayun, sir. Maraming salamat po. So, isang magandang halimbawa si Attorney Bahul sa mga audience po natin. Maganda po na in-note natin, wag nang po natin in-note yung mga nasabi niya kanina, kundi ipatupad sa ating mga buhay. So, may mga, baka sa kina Ma'am Alice, kina Ma'am Pita, baka may mga tanong pa po tayo kay sir, bago po natin tapusin yung formal interview sa kanya.
Hi, good morning, Ma'am Alice.
None for now, attorney.
Okay.
Ito, sir. Sir, yung mga
Okay.
viewers po natin, mga magulang, mga youth, mga kapwa natin kawani sa serbisyo publiko, maaari po ba ninyong hikayatin sila ng mga viewers po natin upang i-promote po yung scholarship program ng DOST?
Oh, sure. That should be easy. Sa mga magulang po na nakikinig or who are viewing this, those of mga kasama namin who are working in government, and everybody who is listening actually, I urge you really to promote this scholarship because it, as I said kanina, it was a really good thing that happened to me, and it helped me to reach where I am now. I-promote natin siya because it will make dreams come true for people who really have less in life. Yung hirap makapag-aral na alam nilang walang kakayanan yung pamilya, this is a very good opportunity to reach those dreams for these people. So, hindi naman po mahirap yung application. I had no difficulty at all. And then, sabi nga kanina, nag-apply na yung anak ko. I had no difficulty complying with the requirements. You just have to do it. And then kayo mga bata, mag-prepare kayo. Aral kayo na mabuti there is no special review for that. Pagbutihin nyo na lang yung high school subjects nyo and you will have a better chance at passing the exams. I urge you really to promote this scholarship as I will. Kasi parang recently ko na-realize din na kaya ko nasabi sa anak ko, pero bakit ko nga ba hindi nasabi sa mga kapamilya kong iba before? Although they knew na DOST scholar ako, pero parang I don't know, parang I totally forgot about it. It's not about selfishness really, pero I never thought about it, pero it's good na eto nga nung nag-invite kayo to speak here, I should do my part na to promote the scholarship because it was one of the best things that happened in my life. And I hope you see the same as you see it as I did, para ma-encourage nyo ang ibang tao to get into this scholarship and reach their dreams, whatever that may be.
Maraming salamat po, Judge, sa pagpapaunlak ng aming imbitasyon bilang ambassador ng DOST Scholarship Program at panauhing pandangal sa araw na ito.
Sir, bilang pasasalamat sa mga karunungan at mga aral na ibinigay ninyo sa amin, hayaan niyo po kaming handugan kayo ng pagkilala sa mga naiambag po ninyo hindi lamang sa DOST kundi sa buong bansang Pilipinas. We will be giving you a certificate of appreciation po, sir.
Thank
Allow me to read the content, sir. Virtual na po kasi tayo ngayon.
Yeah.
Ito po.
It's
So,
okay,
the Republic of the Philippines, Department of Science and Technology, Cordillera Administrative Region awards the Certificate of Appreciation to Modesto D. BAHUL Jr. in grateful acknowledgement of his invaluable inspiration, dedication to public service, and commitment as a DOST scholar. Given this 27th day of February 2021, during the DAD-AT the DOST Scholar, a DOST Scholar's Story, held at the DOST-CAR Regional Office. Signed, Nancy A. Bantog, Regional Director. So,
thank you very much. That will be great kasi it will be in my wall sa office.
Opo, sir.
I'll be proud to put it there. It will help promote the scholarship,
Ay, opo, sir. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you. Hi, Ma'am Pita.
Hi, attorney. Long time no see.
Kaya nga
After how many years?
It's good to see you here. Kaya nga po.
Meron din po kaming munting regalo or token para sa oras na ibinigay nyo para sa DOST Scholarship Program. Bibigay na lang po namin sa inyo, sir.
Yes, sir. Ipapadala po natin yan.
Yes, thank you.
I-email ba?
Sure, thank you. Thank you. I enjoyed my time with you,
Maraming salamat po, sir. Sir, so bago po natin formal na tapusin ang ating programa at tayo po muna ay mag-picture with our resource speaker, mga kasama ko sa scholarship unit, Ma'am Alice and Ma'am Pita. And sir, I will be taking photo po. So mag-pause po muna tayo. Pakita po natin yung best smile po natin. So ayan, magbibilang po ako. 1, 2, 3. Saglit lang po. And then another. So, 1, 2, 3. Ayan. So, maraming salamat po.
Thank you also for having me.
Thank you po, sir. Upang formal na tapusin ang ating programa, pakinggan po natin ang ating Assistant Regional Director for Technical Services, Dr. Pipita S. Itikan.
Thank you, Gran. Attorney, saglit lang ha. To our resource speaker, Attorney Modesto BAHUL Jr., the University Scholarship Coordinators, DOST Scholars, DOST-CAR family led by the Provincial Science and Technology Directors, and our DOST Regional Director, Dr. Nancy A. Bantog, the DOST-CAR Scholarship Coordinator, Ms. Alice Balacqua, with the scholarship unit staff who facilitated this activity. We have Ms. Novemi Anaayo, Mr. Michael Ganvilmon, and Ms. Gran Agtulao. All the listeners and viewers, good morning to all. In behalf of the DOST-CAR, We thank everyone for your participation that made this event successful. We thank also the inspiration and support of our regional director and of course our colleagues both from the Provincial Science and Technology Centers and at the regional office for the successful conduct of this second series of the DOST Scholar, meaning a DOST Scholar's Story. We congratulate and highly appreciate the participation and sharing of Attorney BAHUL Jr., a successful and exemplary model of a DOST Scholar graduate. Thank you for that, Attorney. You are a testimony that things become possible with perseverance and commitment to your goals and to the objectives of the scholarship program. You have highly surpassed the challenges during your DOST scholarship, and what you are today inspires not only the current scholars and potential scholars, but all the listeners and viewers. You are one of our notable models for the scholars to emulate. To all the listeners and viewers, we hope you are inspired. To the potential scholars, we hope you were encouraged to aspire as DOST scholar and become one of the future researchers, engineers, or scientists. After successfully graduating as a DOST scholar, you are expected to render your service obligation in the country. The DOST scholar graduates will definitely help increase the science and technology human resources in the country. We look forward to more testimonies of success from other DOST scholar graduates in the next series of the DOST Scholar. Thank you all and stay safe.
Maraming salamat po, Ma'am Pita. So, para malaman pa natin ang tungkol sa DOST Scholarship Program, panuorin po muna natin ito.
Kanam kano di mangulali meru sana ang tataku anna ay narpuwa ang cocongro anna pun gue isturjaong nana ay ama ayaw ka dyan sumura jo anak ancana yan istorya agwat pun na nefafa mo'y chaman isbila chinap chatan na pagsayatan biyanan saan naila sa na programa ng DOST anaya sinay isurat at anay siya mampanpanunutan ang sana dyan isbila karuja paparasan at numang graduate adyo umuy adyo tayo isbila ata umuy tayo scholar tayo isuka pa ya ifayad na nama dyan na adyo at nan maara dyo abad nan pang isbila dyo ilan dyo ha abad akon pang allowance dyo mamachi dyo usuron tamadi napunan na dyan DOST may mga tutan anay pangismila ni amami akong dyan yung kani sursuruban awad na na'y pagsayataan at anan akong Mountain Province ay ugayam amay gayabang wadanan namoy man iskilaan nulay din nyo'y into namaan wadan scholarship di DOST-SEI Department of Science and Technology wadan ikanda ay bang eskwela ay dakil na'y mausaan wada pa'y ng programa daan nanay ay kananda wadan benepisyo ay kananda ay every month kano every month ay wadanan stipend ay kananda ay amoy stipend nan stipend ay kananda siya nan itanda ay usaron yung manggasto Sa bali abos ng eskwela yo tay libre. Libre at siya daida na mambayad sin eskwela. Wada pa ilakuyos ito da ilakuyos libro yo. Wada pa pang thesis yo ay kananda. Wadan pang alawas yo sin badyo. Kat nan tuition fee yo kat libre abos. Kat nan number 1 pa sinakit nan insurance yo. Siya din ikanan ni DOST ay iyaman kang kabunyan tawadanan ni ikan dato na ay programan di DOST ay kanaan bindisyonam kumaida taadi malmalpas ng pagsayatan ay programa nan nadu-adu ay programa di DOST Department of Science and Technology siya nan ibagdagada iyayag yu sinan iba yan at siya din ikanyo na adikata pagkumpul mi sa pagsayatan na kanan dagaron sinan English ay grab the opportunity ay ugayaan ay gayamang nanus abos ng mimistala nanus abos ng trabahador ng DOST ay kananda siya dan idawat ako kung amat ako kinata ko tas dito ko'y manadal bagayo abos din ang kakadwayo ano ng benepisyo maalas scholarship. Hagio! Hagi!
Hagio!